PubAffairs is the premier network and leading resource for the public affairs, government relations, policy and communications industry, with over 4,000 members from UK, EU and international organisations. PubAffairs events enable a broad range of practitioners to network with their peers on an informal basis and other established public affairs industry gatherings. This is their 125th UK networking event at the InterContinental London Westminster.
Big welcome to the PubAffairs Summer Party. We're really pleased that the event has been supported by the Enterprise Forum, and a big thanks to Mark Beckett and the Chairman Andrew Cumpsty for tonight's event, and also for our event partner, the InterContinental London Westminster. I hope those of you who haven't yet been to the venue are enjoying yourselves and will return here. Hopefully we'll be returning here again for a future PubAffairs event. We've now reached another milestone in the history of PubAffairs. We set up in January 2002, and tonight is the 125th UK networking event that we've run. Thank you all for coming. We can't run the events without you. It is all about you. The importance of networking within our industry is vital. We've got some interesting things on the horizon with the statutory register and other different challenges which we'll all face in the run-up to the end of the year. So I wish you good luck with all of those things. But tonight is about enjoying, networking, making new contacts, hopefully some new friends along the way. Thank you again for coming. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Here's what public affairs professionals say about their industry. What are the common misconceptions about working in public affairs?
I think the most common misconception is that it's a really glamorous job. I think there are glamorous elements to it. You get to go into the House quite often, you get to go to party conferences, but a lot of it is hard work, research, knowing your stuff.
I think the biggest one I always come across is that there's brown paper envelopes passing between hands and between people, and that there's some kind of dark arts to public affairs, and there really isn't. It is all just about being able to package information really well, to be able to have a really compelling story and to be able to tell that story in a really great way that gets somebody excited about what you're trying to push and can really get behind you or the company that you're working with.
What do you think will be the biggest change in public affairs over the next 5 years?
In 5 years, I think it's going to be about how the industry talks about itself and how it communicates as a responsible industry that is performing a service that is required. And connected to that is about an integration within businesses to this point that if all parts of the business understand the public affairs agenda, it's going to be better for how they communicate in a transparent way.
I think the biggest change in public affairs over the next 5 years, or I suppose the biggest challenge would probably be that, public affairs and lobbying used to be about lobbying politicians, but now it's about engaging all of your stakeholder audiences, and it's going to be a real challenge to kind of mobilise all of those stakeholders from a kind of 360-degree approach and, getting them aligned and going in the same direction.
Two key things really. I think the first is the likely introduction of a statutory register for public affairs and lobbying professionals. The second is a greater approach and emphasis to integrated public affairs campaigns. Public affairs doesn't exist in isolation. PR, communications, media relations, it's all part of the same package, and I think the industry will be looking for practitioners who are well-rounded in all of those different areas.
How important a role does the public affairs industry play in the development of policy and legislation?
The public affairs industry plays a hugely important role in the development of policy and legislation. It enables all different types of organisations, be they industry, charities, trade unions and others, to have a voice in the different changes and pieces of policy and legislation that are being put forward by the government. It's terrifically important that the public affairs industry helps policymakers and legislators to make better laws.
What advice would you give to someone considering a career in public affairs?
The advice I'd give to somebody considering a career in public affairs is to get as much experience as they can at the political coalface. Volunteering with an MP is a great way to do this, as is working in Parliament. But the other equally important thing to consider is commercial experience. Public affairs is the intersection between politics and business, and your clients are going to be looking to you to explain how political decisions will affect their business bottom line.
What do you most enjoy about working in public affairs?
Meeting people. It is learning about new topics, and through that, meeting people that work in their areas, the experts in their areas usually, and getting to know them, getting to know their issue areas, what they're passionate about, and it's just a whole learning experience actually.
I most enjoy helping my clients to have a voice and to have their concerns heard at the highest level. I think it's really rewarding when you're able to make that and help that happen for them and deliver their key messages.
How important is networking within the public affairs industry?
I think it's crucial. If you don't network and build up a network of contacts, then you'd be quite limited in the job that you actually do. Quite often when you're out, even if you're not at a particularly formal networking event, you might meet someone that makes a comment, or you find out where they work and you realise that could be potentially useful to you in the future, or they might change jobs, and if you stay in touch with them, that could be really useful. You never really know where anyone might end up in the political environment, and you have to be out there quite a lot and meeting new people. If you have the same old contacts, you might move and change jobs. They might have been useful once, but they won't in the future, and it's really good to have a very large base of contacts that you can share experience with, share ideas with, ask advice with. So yes, it's imperative really, integral part of the job if you work in public affairs.
PubAffairs is free to join, and members are from all the sectors concerned with government affairs, policy, stakeholder relations, corporate communications and lobbying. We hope you can join us at a future networking event.